Welcome to the next session, students. In this session also, we are continuing pharmacodynamic agent, students. Okay, in the last class, we learned about drugs acting on central nervous system, and in this session, I am going to teach you about the drugs acting on renal system and about antihypertensive drugs. Okay, students. Hypertension is related to our blood pressure. So antihypertensive drugs means when the blood pressure is elevated from the normal value. So normal value is 80 to 120 mm of mercury, no, students. So if this normal value is elevated, that condition is called hypertension. There are number of factors which cause hypertension. Okay, when BP is elevated, what happens? It affects the organs of our body. Okay, when the BP is simply elevated without any harmful effects on organs, it is primary hypertension. When the BP is very high, it causes deleterious effects on the organs. This is called secondary hypertension. If the BP is elevated very small amounts, it does not harm our organs. Okay, but it is elevated in large amounts, it damages the organs. It is called secondary hypertension, and if it is elevated in small amounts, it is called primary hypertension. Okay, the small arterioles are used for transferring blood from the arteries to the tissue, capillary and venous system. Okay, everything depends upon our transfer of blood, students, right? When any blockage is observed in such arterioles, the artery contracts and increases peripheral resistance to the flow of blood. As a result, BP increases. Okay, it depends upon the blood flow through arteries, right? Any agent used for contracting this condition is known as hypertensive drug. So the blockage has to be removed so that the flow of blood will not be increased. The flow of blood will not be increased and BP is not increased. So any agent which contradicts this particular situation and relieves from hypertension are called antihypertensive drug. Example, reserpine. Example, students, reserpine. If you observe the structure of reserpine, this is the structure of reserpine, students. Okay, students, and we'll move into the next drugs. Anti-hypercholesterol drugs. Anti-hypercholesteronic drugs. Please learn the words, students. They are new to me and you also. Okay, anti-hypercholesteronic drugs. Okay, students, these are the drugs which decreases the cholesterol levels in the blood. Cholesterol levels should not be increased. Okay, so these drugs will decreases the cholesterol levels in our body, because high levels of cholesterol, free fatty acids are considered to be the positive factor for it, for any disease. So in arteriosclerosis, the elasticity of arterioles is lost and lumen becomes narrow, and this results in hypertension. So because of excess cholesterol also, so that lumen becomes narrow, and it is also the indirect cause for hypertension. As fat is the major source of cholesterol formed in the body, it is possible that the decrease in the fat content in diet should also bring about a decrease in cholesterol synthesis. So the use of unsaturated fats from vegetable sources appears to lead a decreased serum cholesterol. So we should maintain cholesterol in our body also. The abnormal levels of cholesterol also brings the changes in our body. The hypertension, the lumen becomes narrow and hypertension causes. So excess cholesterol also indirectly leads to the increase of blood pressure, that is hypertension. Next example, nicotinic acid, which is used to reduce our cholesterol level in our body. pyridine. This is actually the benzene ring with nitrogen atom is called pyridine, and 1, 2, 3, third position is COOH. If you write like this is called nicotinic acid. This is called nicotinic acid. Next, sclerosing agent. These are the drugs which are used for the obliteration of varicose vein, dilated veins. These drugs irritate the inner layers of vessel walls and cause adhesion of endothelium and occlude the vessels. Examples of sclerosing agents is quinine, students. Quinine. It is a natural alkaloid. It is a natural alkaloid. This is the structure of quinine. Okay. Bicarbonate buffer of the system as shown above lowers the pH. The net result is that there is an excess of it in the filtrate and equivalent amounts of water and sodium ions are excreted. Example, ammonium chloride. Example, ammonium chloride. So, bicarbonate buffer of the system lowers the pH. The net results in that there is an excess of it in the filtrate and equivalent amounts of water and sodium ions are excreted. Next, we'll move into the next, mercurals. What are mercurals? The mechanism of the action of mercurals, diuretics, in the blocking of the action of sulfhydryl group on enzymes responsible for tubular reabsorption. Okay, students, when the enzyme is blocked, there is a marked elimination or excretion of water and sodium chloride. So, the enzyme should not be blocked. If the enzymes are blocked, we have to take mercurals for to overcome the blockage of enzyme. Example, mercaptomeric sodium. Mercaptomerin sodium. The structure is this one. Mercaptomerin sodium. Now, let us move into the next drugs. Antiarrhythmic drugs. Cardiac arrhythmia is an irregular beating of the heart. Irregular beating of heart is called arrhythmia. This may be due to disease or due to certain drugs. Certain drugs side effects are also the results in increase of heartbeat, students. So, if you take a drug for one cause, it may raise the other cause. Okay. For a normal person, the heart beating should be 180 beats per minute. An antiarrhythmic drug bring about a depressant effect on the heart and reduces cardiac activity. So, they prolong the refractory period of the cardiac muscles and reduces the rate of successive contraction of the heart. For example of antiarrhythmic drug is procainamide hydrochloride. Procainamide hydrochloride is the drug which is used for antiarrhythmic drugs. I have already discussed previously, students. Please learn only the definition and example. For example, if an antiarrhythmic drug is used, just one line is enough. It is used for used for maintaining the heartbeat. Okay. For example, procainamide hydrochloride. Cardiac arrhythmia is an irregular beating of heart. For this irregular beating of heart, a drug is used which are known as antiarrhythmia drug. And examples are procainamide hydrochloride. This much is enough. No need to read all those things. Okay. Let us move into the next. Drugs acting in the hematopoietic system, hematological agents. These drugs are nothing but which drugs act on blood and blood forming agents. The blood contains fluid plasma which is 55% and suspended blood cells called corpuscles which are 45%. Okay, 55% of blood contains fluid plasma and 45% contain corpuscles. So, plasma contains a liquid called serum coagulant substances known as fibrinogen and anticoagulants called heparin. Okay, the blood of the blood vessels form a transport system of animal by which substances are carried from the tissues. Okay, in normal condition, the blood remains in the fluid state and thus circulates readily through the blood vessel. However, in abnormal condition, the blood may be clotted in the intact vascular system under the influence of some substances. The clotting or coagulation of blood interferes in the circulation of blood, which leads to serious results, even death. For example, a knife, while cutting vegetables, by knife, for example, we have a cut. If the bleeding will be continued without clotting, so we may die. So clotting should occur whenever necessary. So we are discussing about that point. What are coagulants? Let us discuss about coagulants. The drugs which bring about the clotting of blood are called coagulants. The blood should be clotted whenever required. If it is not clotted, even death may occur to the patient, right? It is defensing mechanism which closes the veins in the walls of blood vessels formed as a result of injury and arrests the bleeding, hemorrhage. Okay. Fibrin is necessary for the coagulation. Inactive prothrombin is converted into active thrombin in the presence of thromboplastic and Ca+2. So this active thrombin in turn converts into inactive fibrinogen to fibrin. Okay, this is the system what happens in the clottage of blood. Okay, students. Next, prothrombin inactive in the presence of calcium thromboblastin converted into thrombin, which is active, and fibrinogen, which is inactive, in the presence of thrombin active converted into fibrin active. So what happens in normal condition? The coagulation of blood in the vascular system is prevented by an organ system called heparin, which is produced in the liver. Though the thing which is produced in the liver is called heparin. Okay, in these conditions, there occur the proper balance of all the normal factors in the circulating blood, that is coagulating and anticoagulating agents, factors. So when the anticoagulant factors dominate in the blood, it does not coagulate the blood and the condition of hemophilia occurs. This can be cured by treating with certain drugs called coagulants. Coagulants are drugs which are used to treat hemophilia, because when anticoagulant factors dominate this blood clotting, the blood will not clot. So then when we have to use coagulants, this can be cured, that is hemophilia can be cured by treating with certain drugs called coagulants. Next, what are anticoagulants? Retardation of clotting is important in blood transfusion to avoid thrombosis after operation. So this retardation can be accomplished by the agents that inactive thrombin or those substances that present in the formation of prothrombin in the liver. The agents which react clotting are called anticoagulants. Example, heparin, a natural anticoagulant which is produced from our liver. Okay. Next, what are anti-anemic drugs? In a healthy man, number of red cells and percentage of hemoglobin depends on the delicate balance between fresh formation and destruction. Okay, this balance may be upset in disease or other condition, that is decreasing production or increasing wastage. The resulting deficiency in oxygen carrying capacity of blood is termed as anemia. So most anemias are deficiency diseases which result from inadequate concentration of iron, vitamin B12. So for anemia, to cure anemia, we are going to use anti-anemic drugs. Anemia is nothing but the deficient of, the deficient of hemoglobin in the blood of human body, right? The iron requirements of a normal adult of male is about 6 to 10 milligram per day, and for a female is 5 milligrams per day. So iron is effective in treatment of anemia caused by the deficiency of iron. This deficiency can be overcome by treatment with ferrous sulfate also. Its main disadvantages are gastric irritation, diarrhea, constipation, etc. Vitamin B12 is a cobalt containing compound. Its deficiency causes also anemia. So if you have any defect in hemoglobin levels, okay, if you have any defect in hemoglobin levels, so we result in blood levels, then we result in anemia. To cure that anemia, we are going to use our anti-anemic drugs. Okay, students. And next we'll move into drugs acting on renal system. What is a renal system, students? Kidneys. Our kidneys, excretion part. So, taking into our body, digestion, excretion, metabolism, this all comes under the functioning of a human being. So, renal system means kidneys, which plays a very important role. Very important role. Okay, students, nowadays we hear that lot of people are facing the failure of renal systems. Okay, so many factors may include. One of the factor may be overdosage of drugs. Due to overdoses of drugs also, kidneys may be failed. Okay, let us learn in brief about that. Kidneys are responsible for extraction of water, electrolytes and certain non-electrolytes from the body. Okay, the balance between the normal composition of blood, body fluids and acid base is maintained by the kidneys. Kidneys are made up of large number of uniferous tubules of nephrons. What happens under certain conditions such as hepatic, renal or pulmonary diseases, or in the cases of congestive heart failures, salts and water is retained in the body, resulting in edema. Drugs necessary to promote the excretion of water and electrolytes from the body through kidneys. Such drugs are called diuretics, students. Nowadays, we are going that many people are undergoing dialysis. Dialysis is nothing but if the water, electrolytes are not excreted by kidney. They are not excreted by kidney. They will be stay in our body itself. If they continuously stay in our body itself, then we'll face lot of problems and the heart may be stopped also. So congestive heart disease may occur also. So lot of diseases may occur and man may die also. So to remove the excess water and electrolytes of from the body, nowadays we are doing dialysis, right? So diuretics are classified according to both the mode or mechanism of action and chemical basis. Okay, one is water and osmotic agents, next acidifying salts, third mercurals. Okay, what is water and acidifying agents? Substances that are poorly reabsorbed by renal tubes and present in higher concentrations then the electrolyte in the body fluid brings about elimination of water and electrolyte by osmotic pressure method. Right? So many non-electrolytes such as urea, sucrose, known which may be used as osmotic diuretics. These are passively filtered into renal tubes when they are poorly absorbed. So thus the internal fluid becomes hypertonic and water passes into the tubes and that thus produces diuretic effect. Example, urea. Okay, what happens when the substances are poorly reabsorbed by renal tubes at higher concentrations? Then what happens? The electrolytes in the body fluids bring about the elimination of water and electrolytes by osmotic pressure method. We are going to eliminate that things. So many non-electrolytes such as urea, sucrose, etc. they may be used as osmotic diuretics. Okay, they may be used as osmotic diuretics. Example, urea. What are acidifying salts? Compounds like ammonium chloride, potassium nitrate, etc. produce diuretic effects. In the body, NH4 plus are converted into urea, whereas the excess of Cl minus, NO3 minus are excreted. So with the excess of anions, some Na plus, H plus are eliminated, leading to acidosis. So drugs acting on renal system. So diuretics are known as the drugs which act on our renal system. Mercurals also we have already discussed in the previous video. Right, students? This is about the remaining pharmacodynamic drugs, students. So in all this session, you have to remember what is an antihypertensive drug. If the blood pressure of normal a man should be between 80 to 120, if the blood pressure is raised, it is due to the blockage of arterioles. What happened to arterioles? Then the flow of blood increases, then BP increases, for example reserpine. So you have to define in that way. And what are anti-hypercholesterolonic drugs, students? For example, nicotinic acid. These drugs are related to fat, cholesterol. So the unnecessary of cholesterol, the unnecessary fat in our body is removed through these anti-hypercholesterolonic drugs. What are sclerosing agents? What are sclerosing agents, students? These drugs irritate the inner layer of vessel walls and cause adhesion of endothelium and occlude the vessels. Right, students? What are mercurals? So, the mechanism of the action of mercurial diuretics is the blocking of action of sulfhydryl group on enzymes responsible for tubular reabsorption. So, when an enzyme is blocked, there is marked elimination or excretion of water and sodium chloride. What are anti-arrhythmia drugs? Actually, our heartbeat should be 180 beats per minute. If an increase in heartbeat, okay, it takes to the heart. If the heartbeat increases, the heart may get failed. Heart failure may occur. To decrease the heart failures, we have to take anti-arrhythmia drugs in the case of increase of heartbeat. For example, here we are using procyanamide hydrochloride. Next, drugs acting in the hematopoietic system, hematological agents. As we already said, fluid plasma, which contains 55%, and blood cells, corpuscles, which contain 45%. Okay, and we have already discovered anticoagulants, and we also discussed about the drugs which acting on renal system. These are about the drugs which act on our different organs of our body, students. I hope, please make a very short note of these things. Just write heading, drugs acting on renal system. The diuretics are the drugs which act on renal systems, and they are classified into 3 types: water and osmotic agents, acidifying salts, and mercurals. That much is enough. Drugs acting on renal system means it relates to kidneys. Just write 1 or 2 points for every heading. That's enough for your degree examination, students. Thank you, students. Let us meet in our next session.